Hey guys, it's Alicia. Today is November 2nd. Hopefully I can get this up before the end of the night, but it takes a while to load them up. I decided at like 10:30 this morning that I was for sure going to do a video, and I wanted to do a whip video. So that was 3 hours ago. It took me that long to go through my stash and find all my whips. And there's one still missing. And get them all kinda categorized in order so that I could show them to you guys. And then I have a few that I want to start this year, so I could stitch a different project every day of the month and still not get them all stitched. But that's not the way I'll do it. That would frustrate me. So I am going to run through all the whips I have, give you an estimate as to when I maybe started them, and yeah, let's get started because there's a few. Okay, so the first one I started in the last 7 years. So my mom passed away 7 years ago, and I know I started it in memory of her, so I don't know if it was like 5 years ago or what. I had found my cross stitch supplies and bought some stuff at Michael's and just started it. So being creative, I found this pattern. It's called Fly My Way. It was in a magazine and it's by Felicity Hall. So I think you can somehow get it by maybe contacting her. So being creative, I started it, but my plan was to, instead of doing all these colors, just kind of do an array of blues, like dark blue in the center and come out lighter, kind of like the monarch butterfly, because that is what I think of when I think of my mom, is the monarch butterfly, and they're blue. Sorry, my puppy was just coming in. One moment. Sorry about that, guys. Everly woke up, so Ciara brought Caden in, and they're gonna go hang out for as long as the video takes, and then I'll go get them. So I better hurry up. So yeah, I started that one. I don't know when I'll get to it again. Maybe I never will. I'm not sure. I am converting it to blue, doing dark blue, and then coming out with the lighter blues. And yeah, we'll see. I'll probably pick it up again. Just probably not in the next year. Maybe I'll challenge myself. The next one is kind of what got me started on finding all this cross stitch stuff. So this happened about 2 years ago. So I had a bunch of my mom's stuff to go through, and I kind of told you guys this already, but I'll tell you again. Had a bunch of my mom's stuff to go through, and I seen a pattern that she was going to start 7 years ago in November, probably about this time. She told me about it. She was going to make it for my daughter. And she showed me the fabric all mounted on a frame, or like a cross stitch frame, but it was crooked. So she was going to get my stepdad to fix it. Well, that didn't happen because shortly after that she passed away. So I found the kit though. So it's called My Lady in the Unicorn. It was a Dimensions Chart and Charm kit. So that got me started onto what I'm doing now, and that is providing Canada with fabric flare fabrics. Because in my search for finding materials for this kit, someone put me in touch with Cindy Sorley and said, get a hold of her for some fabric. And so I got a hold of her for all of it, because, why not just shop in one spot? So I brought in Aqua. I think it's called Aqua. It's called Blue. It's got clouds in it, and it's a fabric flare fabric. I brought it in the 18 count. Now, it took me a very long time to grid. So if you ask me about gridding, yes, I've tried it. No, I don't like it. It's great for counting, but to do all this gridding, I lost my stitchy bug. I had no energy to start it when I was done. So it took a couple months for me to even pick it up again because I didn't want to cross stitch. It was boring. I just gridded. So I've had progress on it since I started. I started going columns, and then I had a challenge in one of my groups, and so I did a whole bunch of the sky in half stitches. And I mean, it's looking great. I will pick this up in 2020 for sure. I don't know how much time I will spend on it, but it will be one that I work on. So that is My Lady in the Unicorn. I don't think you can get any more. You might be able to. Oh, and story about that, I didn't have the pattern when I found the charms, and I couldn't find the pattern in all my mom's cross-stitch stuff. So I got a hold of Dimensions and said, hey, this is what's going on. This is the kit I have. Here's the UPC, because I had the proof of purchase. And they emailed me a copy of the pattern. So if you have a kit and don't have the pattern, contact the company. If you can't contact that company, ask around in any of the groups, because a lot of people know of who to contact now. So please, don't feel like just because you can't find the pattern, you can't do the project. If you don't have the name, ask around. There's lots of people that remember. The next one. So I was starting that one. And it's hard to stitch because my mom was going to stitch it for my daughter, so I have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with that one. So at that same time, I was like, oh, I want to cross stitch. I want to cross stitch everything, and I was finding so many free sales. And so I started a bunch. The first one I started, many of you are going to recognize. If you haven't seen it, it's gorgeous. Just because it's, just about 3 years old doesn't mean you can't do it. So it's Linen and Threads 2017 style. So I wanted to start it, but I only had stashes of my mom's fabric to work with. That was all I had. So I decided I was going to do a shortened version, and it was fairly late in the year. It was just about 2009 or 2018. So yeah. I decided I was going to do a shortened version. So this is all the fabric I have, right? So I can only fit, a few bands. And I finished January. It's narrower too. I finished January. So now I'll go along and I'll probably do I don't know, February is that fun one right there. Actually, I think it's that flower one. I definitely do want to include the bees. And let's see if I can find it while I'm viewing on the computer. I definitely want the bottom. I don't know if I want to do that one again. It'd be pretty close to that one, so it might be too repetitive. But I definitely want to do the beads. Oh, and these peanuts? I'm not sure. Peanuts and acorn? But yeah, I'm just going to pick and choose and make sure I don't run out of fabric. So eventually I will work on that, and I believe my thread of choice is 922. Might be 722, but I'm pretty sure it's a 22. And it's gorgeous. I love it. And it was great at getting back into stitching. Way better than that gridding was. I'll tell you that much. And then, of course, I said I found a whole bunch of free sales, so I did. This one I only got one in. It's called Connie G's 2018-19 sale. So I only got this one. I don't know when I'll pick it up again. I don't even know if I will. It's really cute. I did all the border. Sorry, I did the border too. And yeah, I did the border. Oh, I'm lying. I got 2 in. See? Silly me. It's been so long since So yeah, I got 2 in. 1, 2. With a variations thread. And so, I mean, I might pick it up again when I feel like doing a whole bunch of black work. It's supposed to be black work, but I'm technically doing back stitching because I'm not making sure my threads are the same on both sides. Another freestyle that I picked up at the same time was Sunbonnet Sue by Leslie Tier. So this is the whole year. I don't think I printed them all off, And from what I hear, if you didn't print it off that year, you have to pay for it after, which is fine. When I pick this one back up, I will. I did January and February, and I was going to start on March. Sorry about that, guys. So I have January and February done, and I went to start on March, but if you can see there, March has beautiful butterflies, and it was just a little bit too much for me to decide to pick it up and work on the butterfly month. So, and I think it was getting close to May, so that was around my mom's birthday. So yeah, I'm just like, no, I can't do that right now. And so I haven't touched it since. Another free sale I came across and started is Weaver's Band Tapestry sale. So she's doing a bird one this year. This one was the first year. And she does lots of stuff on her site, lots of free small patterns and stuff. But yeah, I started the Weaver's Band Tapestry sale, and I did all the border. Yay me! So I did all the border, and then started on each week, because she was releasing them weekly. And I did work on it recently, just to, I think it was a challenge. So yeah, I do like it. I will continue to work on it. I like the colors, and I think it'd be nice to have hanging somewhere. Just that old tapestry look. So yeah, Weaver's Band Tapestry Sale. So look her up if you like that. It's very cute. And then along with that pattern was the release of a scissor fob and pattern. And I wanted to try silk, so I went to a store and I got some silk. It's Karen Water Lily. I can't remember which color it is. It's kind of a peacock color, teal, blue, purple. And I'm doing the little scissor fob pattern with it. So my plan is to finish it and give it to my mom, who does, or my stepmom, sorry if I'm confusing you, I call her mom. Give it to her because she does machine embroidery. So that's that one. Next is I started getting in all the fabrics. This was probably June. Yes, it was June. 2018, because I started getting in the fabrics, and I wanted to be able to show people how the fabrics look and all that. So I got myself Artisy Lady Silhouette 11, because I want to and will stitch it on Blooms on Blue, and I think it's going to look fantastic. Perfect flowers on the hat to the pattern. So that is a model stitch, and no, I haven't touched it in a while, but I should. It's a nice, simple, easy to read pattern. I love artistic patterns. Next was the 2018 sale. So I started this in January. I hadn't decided I was going to open my store. Of course, I have all the pieces now because they've released it all. But this was 28 count, and this is parchment. So that is what size of fabric I needed. And it is the Linen Thread 2018. And of course, it's released as one color, but we have creative freedom. And so I took pencil crayons and started coloring in, and voila. So I will get to it soon. Little blue butterfly there, in memory of my mom. Just sits with me while I'm stitching it. I really like the pattern. I just haven't picked it up much. I've had it in a bag, ready to go. And when I want, I guess, an easy pattern, because I just have solid colors for each object, I will grab it and stitch some more. So that is that one. And next is one I've picked up recently. If you guys are on my Facebook or in any of the groups, I mean, you've seen it. So it's the Drawn Thread, Good Tidings. Sorry about the glare there. Little butterfly, says Merry Christmas. It's got the branch. So I have been stitching on it recently because I've been using it for challenges that I have in my groups, which have been really great for helping me stitch and pull out whips. So here it is now. And I've really been enjoying it, and with Christmas season coming, it will probably come out more because the groups will prompt us to stitch on Christmas stuff, is my guess. I could be wrong. Next is one that I started, and I was going to try and complete it for August last year, but that did not happen. I will finish it because it's for my grandparents. So it's called Let's Love Our Family by Ursula Michaels. So it's one of those wonderful word and object patterns. I really like them. I've done 2 other ones. I did the sewing machine and I did the street bike Let's Ride. So I was trying to get it done for my grandparents, but I haven't yet. I need to just make the time. Oh, sorry. Someone helped me put my magnet back. So there it is. I had to rip out a whole bunch because I counted wrong, and I think that's kind of why I just set it down and haven't picked it back up. But with the groups that I'm in, I'm sure I will get a prompt that will be usable for that. Now this next one, I really like Leslie Tier's designs. So when I seen this one on the so-and-so website that was coming out as a sal, we all know I like sals, I bought it and started stitching on it, but I haven't got very many stitches. I think I have less than 20. So it's called Four Seasons Band Sampler. And so-and-so, I believe, has changed hands or closed down. So in order to finish getting the pattern, if it's not in my account still, I'll contact Leslie Tier. So if you're looking for it, you might want to contact her. So I'm doing it on this 36 count over to, sorry, it's small. I will pick it back up. It will be a fun springtime stitch. I think that's why I haven't touched it in a while. I haven't been doing much stitching in the spring. I've generally been working. So next is one that I started spring of 2018, and I worked really hard on it for a while because I was going to give it to my stepdad for Father's Day. But the fabric came like 2 weeks before Father's Day, so it was really not going to happen. I had 3 of them I was going to do, and I got one done, and that was the Let's Ride. But I mean, realistically, that pattern took me a day or 2 to do. Actually, I think it took a week. So I worked really hard on this one, but it's not ready yet. So, Keys to the Kingdom. My stepdad, likes glass doorknobs and stuff like that, collects them. So to me, the Keys to the Kingdom just really suited his style. I know, guys don't have style, do they? Well, a lot of them won't admit to it. And I have it on Hazy Gray 28 count, and I'm doing it with Evening in Paris, Dinky Dye Silk. Don't forget, I can bring any of those in, so if you guys want them, let me know. So that is Evening in Paris on Hazy Gray silk. And then I'm going to find probably some clear beads and put them on because there's a bunch of beads on it. And I have a whole bunch of little charms I got from Michaels that are keys. So I was going to place them in different spots and then frame it in a white frame. I have that. And give that to him. So honestly, probably next Father's Day. So Father's Day 2020, right? I'll get it done before that. Alright, the next one was, salves. This one I really wanted to start because a whole bunch of us were going to start it. So I was like, yes, I want to start. I want to stitch with everybody. So, Erica Sage is the one I contacted about it. I can't remember where I seen it. I contacted her about it. She got me the pattern. The pattern is not, it's an OOP. So you'd have to contact someone who has it to see if you can buy it from them. Not me. I'm not done stitching. It's called I Am a Stitcher, and it was for the 2018 I Am a Stitcher sale. And it's a lot of work because it's on 40 count. And I think I'm doing it over 1. Let me see. Nope. No. I'm doing it over 2. But it's 40 count, you guys. It's tiny, tiny. So if you can see, I don't know how well you can see it. I've even got some of the swirl done. Right? But it's small. Takes time to concentrate and do it. But I will, because I am a stitcher. And it's got that awesome bottle cap minder. So, yay! I will be doing that. And just put it somewhere. Not that I have, a room to put this stuff in my living room. It goes with the house decor, right? Another one was, it was being talked about, and I was really interested in it. It's not a sale, but it was a release 9 patterns over the year. Little House Needleworks Farmhouse Christmas, and I love it. And I wanted to do it on this fabric right away. So I've started the border, but that's as far as I've got because I'm going to do it all as one. And I have it on wood, 28 count wood, even weave. So it dyes lighter than the Ada. They fixed it, but it did at that time dye lighter than the Ada. You can't really see the green, but it is there. So I started the border. I will get back to it and get working on it. I think I have to re-soak or what would you call that? Re-soak the red. It's to make them color fast. That's the word I'm thinking of. Redo the red to make it color fast. But that's all 9 patterns, and that's the border. So that is what I'm doing on the wood fabric. So hopefully I get some on that this next year. That would be fun. And then next, another sale by so-and-so, and it's now available as a pattern, is Sneak by Long Dog Sampler. So that's the whole pattern. Of course, when I seen it, I only got to see little bits, but I really like it. I like Long Dog Sampler. So this one's called Sneak. And I'm doing it with 311 DMC on just a beige even weave. Now, I don't think I need all this fabric. I think I just started it in the center though. Here's when I was starting. Wasn't confident on my measurements yet, but I am now. So, there's my start on Sneak. Can you see it? And in one of my challenges, I did a whole bunch of stitching. I didn't do the back stitching on those top ones because I didn't want to have to count halves. So I just did the challenge with full stitches and stopped. So I will have to go back and back stitch those. And I think I'm missing some back stitching on the birds, but I'm also doing the back stitching with 2 threads, not 1. I find it too thin for me personally to do 1 strand for back stitching, especially when it's just on the fabric. If it's on stitches, I don't mind it, but on the fabric by itself, it's just too thin for me. It's not my favorite, but yeah, I will pull that out because that'll be a nice, gorgeous one when it's all done and up. And next, I started last Christmas-ish. Yeah, because that's when it was released. Is Tiny Modernist Santa's House. And I started it on my blue Tiny Snowflakes 14 count with opal. So there's opal in this fabric. And I just got some of the white done. And I will pick it up and work on it probably around Christmas time. I'm sure there'll be some prompts for that. So I'm pretty excited about that one. Next, I have in my list Snowflower Diaries. I started this last year. I'm not quite done. I'm working on November. The peacock. I'm doing this in hand. I have all my pieces set aside. So this is the pattern in its entirety. I'm doing each individual month. So I'll pick that up again. And then next is Mira Bumblebee. So it's this pattern. And it has a whole bunch of Clinique and beading. So I wanted to do it so I could try beading and Clinique. So I got all the Clinique. I've just got the beading to do. And I have one bead on there. And I'm sure I'll pick it up and continue beading. But it hasn't really been like, oh, I really want to do beading today. Probably before I start the beading on some of my other ones. Next is January last year, Stitchin Mommy released the pattern, and I want to stitch it, and I will stitch it. I don't know what year I'm going to stitch it. Maybe I should stitch all of the stems and leaves and months, and then pick it up and stitch it, right? So, I have Stitchin Mommy's High-Low Temperature Garden, and I've started on this gorgeous candy apple green. And see, I have 4 stems and leaves. So, maybe I'll get to stitching it. I don't know. I don't know when. I'm not very good at, daily doing stuff. But this would help. Okay. Sorry about that. Next is, also January last year. Everybody was getting ready for Linen and Threads 2019. So this is up to the latest release, I believe. So I haven't been following as to what month's what. I'm pretty sure this one's 1. I think month 2 was the borders. I'm not sure. I will stitch it. I like the peacock, and I have gorgeous fabric for it to go on and thread. So I'll show you my start. I was starting it at work on my lunch breaks, but I've been home, so I don't have lunch breaks. So there's the head with PR120. It's one of the Silks for You. No. Yes, Silks for You silks that Jamie dyed. And it's got like purple and green and blue and teal. It's peacock colors. I like it. I'm drawn to those ones. So I will work on it, and I will stay with just that color. So soon I'll get some more done on that. Hopefully they never take them off their website so I can just go and get the pattern when I'm ready. Next, I did a finish with this one, which was true to its colors. Owl Burst Sampler by Cherry Hill Stitchery. OOP. They closed down, or she did. So I did the original one and sent that off for my niece in June. And now I'm doing the other one, and I'm late. Her first birthday was October, but I will get to it and finish it. And if you guys follow me, you know my son cut holes in it. So there's a bunch of additions because I needed to cover the holes. So here's all of it. I just have the name to do, Elise, and the date. And once I'm done that, I will give it to her. Well, I'll give it to Mom and Dad. and they can put it away for her keepsake or hang it on the wall. However, I finish it. So that is still technically a whip. It's close. Very close. So it's Owlburst Sampler number 2. Next, I've been working on her recently. And she's OOP. Tiger Lily by Nora Corbett. And I have her on Ice Fractal, 32 count linen. And I have her skin over 1. So that's what I'm doing for her. And I've been stitching on her recently because she's been fitting into some stitching challenges, which helped me stitch more. Because honestly, before I started doing these stitching challenges, I was going 2 or 3 weeks without a single stitch, you guys. And it was really frustrating me. So I started doing the stitching challenges to make sure I got more stitches in. I don't always get them done, but I try. The next one I started January 1st, or sorry, July 1st for Canada Day, because I won this pattern off of one of the Friday Off the Grid groups. Friday Off the Grid, is that it? So I won Canadian Reflections by Ink Circle, which I love because this is the only Ink Circle pattern I have. And I started it with Schoolhouse Red, the Gast threads, Gentle Arts threads. And no, I do not have much of a border margin. Sorry about that. Kids don't want to stay in the rooms. So I don't have much of a margin. I'm just gonna probably sew it with into a pillow. So I'm not worried about having much framing margin for this one. But that is my start with the Schoolhouse Red for the Ink Circle's Reflections of Canada. So I will probably bring that out around July again. Probably. There'll be a prompt for Canada Day stitching. So this next one I brought out as in July as a model stitch. So it's, I believe, called Red, and it's a Heed background removed pattern. So that is what I'm stitching. Red Riding Hood. And I'm stitching it on Misty Forest. I was going to say Mystique Forest. Misty Forest. So there's my start. Sorry, turn it the right way. So it's going on Misty Forest. And that is what I have so far, and that is the fabric. So I will continue on it. I really like working on it. I like the pattern. And now I have Pattern Keeper on my tablet. So I will convert to PDF and continue that way. Because paper and pen, it was taking forever to get 20 stitches in. But Pattern Keeper's quicker. I was playing around with it yesterday. Not with that pattern. And then a few more. So I have one that you guys would have seen recently is Canadian Beauty. I am working on her, and I am doing her on Snowy Tracks fabric. So that is where she's at. And that's the bottom of the fabric there. So I will be working on her some more. I usually try and pick her up anytime I have red requested, or leaves, or birds, or animals, so she's fairly universal. Next, I have one that's just about done, and I'm doing it as a model stitch, but I didn't have the threads that I needed, so I have ordered the thread, and once it comes in, I will finish. But it is Queen Bee, and it's by the Blackberry Rabbit, which is Karen from Linen and Threads. So that is her design, Queen Bee. And I have it on Berkshire Hive. Isn't it pretty? So once I get my last couple threads that I need to finish it, I will. And then I'll flat fold finish it and have it as a model of the shop. And then this one I could not find in my 3 hours of searching my whips. I couldn't find it, but it's on the O Canada fabric, and I'm not doing the whole pattern, so I am doing that part of the pattern, and I've had to flip the head, and that's where I am. I flipped the head and I'm stitching the head the right way, and I'm only stitching that stuff, the reflection with the, I want to say totem pole, but it's not totem pole, it's a type of art. But I'm stitching that, and then that's near the bottom, so I think up top I have the pattern. I haven't started it yet. I'm gonna do the same part of Sue Coleman's reflection, which is the butterfly, so I'll do that on the top of the fabric, but I couldn't find the fabric. I have it somewhere, I know I do. And then this one you guys have probably seen recently because I've been stitching on it this week. It's Celtic Noel, and this one I got from a lady in the UK. It was already started, and I got like most of the floss and the fabric it was started on and the pattern, so I have been working on it since last year when I got it, and most of that skirt you see down there was stitched already, and I've been just using challenges and working on the borders, and now I'm getting to work on the hair. Yay! I find the border repetitiveness kind of tedious and frustrating, so I'm excited to be in the hair and dress where I change colors and follow the flow of the object. I just like seeing it emerge that way. So that is why I'm on that, and stitching challenges have been prompting me to bring it out, so I have been. And then this one does not have a single stitch in it yet, but I've been like waiting. I've been trying to finish my stitching challenges so that I can put a couple stitches in this. I haven't got that far yet, but it's a stitching shelf. I like a stitching time, but I don't like the emblem covering all this stuff going on here, so I went with a stitching shelf, and it's mini so that I can maybe accomplish it in a reasonable amount of time. And I'm going to be doing it over 1 on 25 count. It's all ready to go. So, once I'm done my challenge, I'll get to reward myself and stitch on a stitching shelf that's ready to go in my frame. Right? Soon. Like, maybe Monday. Maybe the challenges will be able to correspond to it. So, Celtic Noel is technically my last whip, but a stitching shelf is, you know, going to be a whip. So I'll just mark it there. So that makes it 30. So any month I could technically pick up every single whip a day. You know, 1 day each month. Won't happen, but I could. Next is the ones I'm going to add. So normally I buy, you know, a coffee cup, a fun coffee cup for family members and gift them to them for Christmas. But our cupboard is now full of these fun coffee cups. They were Tim Hortons cups for a while, and now they've just been fun ones. But our cupboards are full of them, and I have cups that come with my dishes, and I don't want to get rid of any of them. So I'm like, okay, I can't do cups anymore because I have no room for any more coffee cups. So I was thinking of starting and finishing some Christmas ornament ones. Just do like a couple for each household. Maybe one for my nieces, each of them, and then one for my stepdad, and one for my mother-in-law and father-in-law. Small ones, maybe. We'll see how much time and energy I have. But that's kind of my thought with that. Now, the next few, I want to start this year, like get 10 stitches in, even one. You know, that's technically a start, because I want to stitch on them next year for sure. And the one, a bunch of us are going to start together, right? Because we want to. Is Hands-on Design, A Year in Celebration. So I'm starting January. You don't have to start January. You can start whatever month you want, whenever you want. If you are continuing it, you can go ahead and start whatever one you want. If you're just starting at the beginning, start November if you want to start November. It's up to you. So I am starting January in December 1st. And it's going to be a sale. And Kim in Canada is joining me. And everyone else that wants to. Follow us. Instagram, Facebook. We're there. So, a year in celebration. And I'm going to stitch it on, this kind of boring stuff. Probably. I might change my fabric. It's Floba oatmeal. 25 count. So then I'd be doing it over 1. And I don't know if I want to do that. Because they're small enough over 2. Just not on 25 count. So, I might stitch it on this oatmeal. I might say, nope, I'm going to stitch it on parchment, which is another, neutral color. So, fabric might change, but I'm stitching this starting January, December 1st. See if I word that right. So that will be in the whips for next year too. Hopefully I'll be done January by December 31st. I will be, right? We're going to encourage each other. Alright. This next one is Let's Hunt by Ursula Michaels. And this was one of those Father's Day presents. And the fabric came like a week before Father's Day, maybe 2 weeks before Father's Day. And I was like, no, I don't have the time. But it needs to be done for next Father's Day, right? So, this is my fabric of choice. It is Amber Waves. This is again the even weave that dyed really light. So now it comes in like true like gold yellow color. So Amber Waves with Let's Hunt for my father-in-law for next Father's Day. So that needs to be started this year so I can stitch on it next year and finish it. The next one is, make sure I have all the pieces. I've been wanting to try the Sulky Petites for a while. And Kathy from Hands On Design talks about them lots. So, I really wanted to get this pattern last year, and I was like, no, not yet. So, I got it this year, so that I can start it for spring of next year. So, I'm just going to throw a few stitches in. And my plan was, I was going to stitch it on this one. 32 count linen cappuccino. Right? It's just a neutral brown. But, then in, my searching through my stash, I found this 28 count chicks. How cute is that, you guys? And I was thinking, we'll see. We'll see what kind of coverage the pattern will have over this. But I think that would be cute too. Chicks with more chocolate bunnies. Right? Does that not go together for Easter? Life needs more chocolate bunnies. So yeah. Chickens on yellow fabric. I think I might do it. Let's see. Let's see. What do you think? Sorry. There's the threads. That orange shows up better. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm doing it. So, because it's 28 count, right? I have some more. Yeah, because it's 28 count, I am going to need to do 2 strands of the Sulky 12 weight cotton petite, which is fine. That's fine by me. So, I will be trying 2 strands on this for the more chocolate bunnies, right? It's going to be awesome. So I will start it this year so that I can stitch on it next spring when everyone's going, oh, look at all my spring stitching. I can go, oh, I have some too. Because you see my whips. There's not a whole lot of spring stuff in there. And it's still cold and wet in spring here. So that's the plan for that. And then the last start, as far as I know, for this year, so that I can stitch on it next year, is Cranberry Christmas. because I really want to stitch this Socky Petites. I really do. And I figured antique scroll would be good. It's a neutral, won't be too flashy. I found a green. It was tiny snowflakes with hunter green, but it was way too close to that green. And I don't want to change out for DMC because I want to stitch with my petite sockies. So I'm going to stitch it on this. So that is my whips and my plans for 2020. And then there's a Stitcher's Winter that I want to stitch with Hilma. Uh-oh. I don't know what I'm going to do. I might start it. I might not. If I do, I have to do it before 2020. So, we'll see. Because it's a gorgeous pattern. So, if you guys need anything, let me know. I'm here. Sorry that I'm not stitching much in this Stitch With Me number 3, but I wanted to get all that out there. You know, air the dirty laundry. This is all the whips I have. And let's encourage each other to stitch the way we want to stitch. Some people are like, no, I can't do a no start. That's okay. I'm going to try really hard. And maybe I'll be successful. We'll see. So, those are my plans. That's what I'm looking forward to in 2020. I'm so looking forward to working with you guys on starting the a year in celebration hands-on design Sal with me and Kim in Canada. She has a YouTube channel. Check her out. She also is on Instagram and we're on Facebook. And then I have this channel, as you guys can see. And then I'm on Facebook and I have the website that you guys can go and get the pattern from, or floss, or fabric, any of that. So let me know if you guys need anything. If you just want to talk and chat about stitching, contact me. I'm here. Alright guys, have a great day. Bye.